How's it going, guys? It's the Lobster here, and welcome back to another Rocket League video. And in this one, guys, this is going to be a pretty fun video because today we're going to be going over 3 different boosts. Well, actually, technically 4, but mainly 3 different boosts that are kind of like off-brand goldrush. So if you're like me and you really want goldrush, but you're either on Xbox or PS4, or you are on PC, but you don't want to shell out like the 800 to 1,000 keys it takes to get one, these are some very cheap and good options to get a super golden boost that looks almost identical to goldrush. So it's going to be a ton of fun, but before we get into that, I have a quick update for you about one of my sponsors, Knockaround. I haven't talked about them in so long, but they've been adding a ton of new things to their custom sunglasses and gaming glasses shop. So if you want to mess around and create a pair, they're only like $25 or $30. Just go to the link in the description, go to their shop, and you can choose a bunch of different things, and then make sure to choose these blue light blocking lenses right here if you want the ones for gaming. They're great quality, and I literally have like 50 pairs. I'm not even kidding. But without further ado, guys, let's get into the video here with the first off-brand gold rush. Alright guys, so starting this one off, me and Speedo kind of disagreed. We both found boosts in the new trade-up update that looks super close to Gold Rush, but we can't decide which is better, so we'll go with his first here, and the one he thinks looks best is the orange painted Flamethrower. Now I definitely agree this one looks really good. There's just a few things that kind of make it not look like Gold Rush, and the first of which is just looking at it in the preview. It definitely does resemble Gold Rush, but as soon as you get in game, it actually looks a lot like it. But first of all, as you can see in the preview, it does actually look really close. It has that super golden color that when you compare it to Gold Rush, it looks almost identical, except it doesn't have like the sparkles to it. Now another thing that's kind of unfortunate about this boost is that the Flamethrower has that bit of blue towards the engine itself, and that definitely gives it away that it's not Gold Rush, which is definitely unfortunate, but you know, these are off-brand Gold Rush. They're not going to look exactly like it. However, once you get into game here, this is where it truly shines and looks almost identical at a glance. So here you can see me just driving around on training looking at this boost, and if you were to see this, especially if it didn't have that blue there, you would probably think this was Gold Rush. Like on the field, if you're looking at somebody's boost, this looks almost as close as you can get. And of course, as you can see in a showcase of Gold Rush itself, they do look pretty close. So at the end of the day, this is definitely a good choice to go with. Now moving on to the second boost that looks like Gold Rush, we have to go over one of the default boosts that looks so close to it that even before this trade up update, whenever I saw this one, I had to make like a double take to make sure that it wasn't Gold Rush. And you can probably guess the one I'm talking about. I am talking about the Sparkles boost. So this one you can actually get painted, but the default one is easily the one that looks most like Gold Rush. And you can see right here, it has that super golden color to it that definitely is super close to Gold Rush. Now along with that, unlike the other boosts in this list, it's the only one that has kind of like a sparkly effect to it, because if you look at Gold Rush, you know it has those gold particles kind of flying around to make it look like gold is shooting out of the engine, and the Sparkles boost also has that same effect. And then that's made even more apparent when you go into game and just start driving around with it. The sparkles just really make you think that it is actually Gold Rush. In fact, the funny thing about this, if we again look at the Gold Rush itself, Sparkles looks like it actually has more of that gold particle effect to it, which of course makes sense. I mean, it is called Sparkles, but you'd think that the really rare and limited boost would have a better effect than one that you can just get by default. So that is definitely interesting, because this one kind of looks better than Gold Rush just because the sparkles themselves do look more golden. So again, if you're going against somebody that has this boost, you do always have to kind of take a super close look at it to find out whether it's Gold Rush or the Sparkles boost, which is a good thing to have in an off-brand Gold Rush. But now moving on to the third one, which I used to think looked the best, but now I'm just not sure looking at all of these other ones. However, this one does fill a gap that the other two are missing, and that is that Gold Rush kind of has this smoky effect to it. So the boost that I'm talking about here is the orange thermal, which took me so long to trade for. I don't know why this boost was so hard to find. You'd think that every single one of these boosts in the update would be super easy to get, but this one took me like 2 or 3 hours, and finally I got my hands on it and did confirm that it does exist. But as you can see, it's a pretty good off-brand Gold Rush. And when I look at it and compare it to the Gold Rush itself, again, both of them kind of have that same like smoky effect to them, whereas Sparkles is kind of just boost a more defined sparkles effect. Goldrush itself is kind of like closer together sparkles that resemble a smoke that looks definitely like orange thermal. Now along with that, unlike the flamethrower, orange thermal kind of has this fade at the end that kind of gets darker, and that I feel resembles the goldrush really closely. Now when we go in game here, it's pretty close to the preview, but if you look at it closely, it does resemble goldrush quite a bit. I will say that maybe it's a little bit darker in game, which is kind of unfortunate, but at a glance, that kind of golden effect, especially closer to the engine, does look a lot like it. And also it is a little bit wider than goldrush itself, so you know, maybe this one isn't the best. Maybe Caleb was right with the flamethrower. Like if flamethrower did not have that blue, that would definitely be the one that looks closest. But at the end of the day, these are all boosts that just look close to goldrush, ones that at a glance would make you look twice to see if they really are the real deal. So those are the 3 boosts that you can definitely get, but let's do something kind of special here and show you what might be the closest you can get to goldrush without having it, and that is by combining 2 separate boosts. Now, Caleb or Speedo is the one that showed me this, and I believe he saw it on a video that Junior LOVL made, so credit to that guy for kind of coming up with this. But it's a super funny and completely nonsensical way of creating goldrush, and you won't be doing this in game anytime soon. But if you want to get that super close goldrush effect, simply get a friend with you and have him put on the sparkles boost, and then you yourself put on the yellow flamethrower. Now, once both of you have those 2 separate boosts, simply go into a private match, line up behind each other, and this is kind of the tough part. You have to count down and make sure you both go at a similar time. But if you have your friend in front of you with these sparkles and then you have the yellow flamethrower, as soon as you start driving forward and boosting, you combine both of these boosts to create the best off-brand gold rush you could ever have. Like, it's so random that this just works. It combines everything that we wanted from the off-brand boost that we just went through and puts them together to form something that definitely does look a lot like gold rush. Now again, can you do this in game? Probably not. But either way, it's just kind of a funny way to recreate this boost. But anyways, guys, that is going to be it for today's video. I hope if you were a fan of Gold Rush, this can kind of help you out. And as always, if you're new to the channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button and don't forget to check out my previous videos here, such as an insane top 15 community goals on the left, and then on the right, the first ever reveal of the full story behind the Moai Easter egg. But other than that, guys, again, I hope you enjoyed today's video. I'm the Llamacer, and I will see you guys next time.